Doctor says, eat these 6 foods daily or age faster after 70. Have you ever found yourself wondering, why do I feel more tired than I used to? Maybe you're doing everything right, getting enough sleep, trying to stay active, but your energy just isn't what it once was. Or perhaps you've noticed that your body doesn't bounce back quite as quickly anymore, even after something as simple as gardening or walking around the block. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. As we get older, especially after 70, our bodies change in subtle and not so subtle ways. Things that once seemed effortless start requiring more energy. Digestion slows down, our muscles don't recover as fast, and our immune system isn't quite as sharp. But here's the good news, a lot of these changes aren't just a part of getting old, they're signals. And food, believe it or not, can be one of the simplest, most powerful tools to help us respond to those signals in a healthy way. Today, I want to talk with you about 6 specific foods that doctors and nutrition experts agree can help you live longer, feel better, and enjoy life more, especially after 70. These aren't exotic, hard-to-find items. They're everyday foods that, when eaten regularly, can boost your energy, protect your heart and brain, and help you feel younger, inside and out. Think of this not as a diet, but as a few small changes you can make that may just add more good years to your life. So, let's ease into this together, no pressure, no perfection, just some friendly advice and support. Let's begin with one of the most underrated yet powerful foods you can eat every single day, berries. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Berries? Aren't those just for sweet tooths and fancy desserts? Well, yes, they are delicious, but they're also little powerhouses packed with antioxidants. And that's especially important as we age. Antioxidants help fight something called oxidative stress. That's a fancy way of saying they protect your cells from damage that can lead to inflammation, memory problems, and even certain chronic diseases like heart issues or cancer. Blueberries are particularly impressive. Studies have shown they can actually improve memory and support brain health. Just half a cup a day, that's all it takes. You can sprinkle them on your oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or just enjoy a handful as a sweet snack. And if fresh berries aren't always available, frozen ones are just as good. They're picked at their peak and keep all the nutrients. And if blueberries aren't your favorite, no worries, raspberries, blackberries, even strawberries can do the trick. The key is variety. Eating a mix of colorful berries gives your body a range of protective compounds. Think of it as nature's way of giving your brain and your heart a warm, comforting hug every single day. Alright, now that we've got something sweet to start with, let's move to something savory and equally powerful. Leafy greens. Yes, I know. It's not the most exciting food to talk about. But stay with me, because what they can do for your body is nothing short of amazing. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, collard greens, and even good old-fashioned lettuce are rich in vitamins and minerals your body absolutely loves, especially vitamin K, folate, and fiber. These nutrients work behind the scenes to keep your bones strong, your blood flowing smoothly, and your digestion on track. Here's something fascinating. A study from Rush University in Chicago found that people who regularly ate leafy greens had brains that looked 11 years younger on cognitive tests. Isn't that incredible? 11 years, just from adding more greens to your plate. That means sharper memory, clearer thinking, and less chance of age-related decline. If cooking kale feels like a chore or you're not a fan of spinach in your salad, try mixing greens into soups or stews. They wilt down easily and take on the flavor of whatever you're cooking. Or make a quick sauté with garlic and olive oil, just a few minutes on the stove and it's ready. You can even toss a handful of spinach into scrambled eggs or a sandwich. It doesn't have to be complicated to be effective. Speaking of olive oil, now there's another gem we need to talk about. But we'll get to that in just a bit. First, let's pause and reflect for a moment. You see, the beauty of these foods isn't just in what they do physically. Yes, they support your heart, your brain, and your bones, but they also give you a sense of control. A sense of, hey, I can do something today that supports the life I want to keep living. That mindset, choosing to nourish yourself with intention is just as important as the food itself. I know the idea of eating healthy can sometimes feel overwhelming, especially with all the advice out there. But the truth is, it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be consistent. A small bowl of berries, a serving of greens with dinner, these are manageable steps that really do add up over time. So now that we've talked about berries and greens, two simple but mighty additions to your daily routine, let's keep going. There's another everyday food that deserves a spot on your plate, especially if you're looking to live longer and feel stronger. Let's talk about beans. Let's talk about beans. I know they might not sound as exciting as some other foods, but trust me, beans are one of the best things you can eat after 70. They're full of protein, fiber, and essential nutrients that support your muscles, digestion, and heart health. And perhaps even more importantly, they're gentle on your wallet and easy to cook. Now, why are beans so special? Well, for starters, they're a fantastic source of plant-based protein. And after 70, keeping your muscles strong becomes more important than ever. You don't have to be lifting weights at the gym, but your body still needs the building blocks to maintain strength, balance, and mobility, and protein is one of those building blocks. Fiber is another big reason to love beans. You see, as we get older, digestion often slows down. Constipation becomes more common, and let's be honest, it's not exactly a fun topic, but it's something many people deal with silently. Beans help keep everything moving in a natural, healthy way. They also support the growth of good gut bacteria, which plays a big role in your immune system, your mood, and even your energy levels. One of the best parts about beans is how versatile they are. You can toss them into soups, add them to salads, mash them up into spreads, or mix them with rice for a hearty meal. Whether it's black beans, chickpeas, lentils, or kidney beans, they all bring something to the table, literally. And if cooking dried beans feels like too much work, canned beans are just fine. Just rinse them well to reduce the sodium. It's funny, isn't it? Something so small and humble can have such a big impact on your health. But that's the beauty of food, it doesn't have to be flashy to be powerful. Now, since we're on the topic of simple yet powerful, let's move on to one that might already be sitting in your pantry, nuts. Nuts are a true gift from nature. They're rich in healthy fats, protein, and important minerals like magnesium and zinc. And despite what people used to think, eating nuts regularly doesn't make you gain weight. In fact, studies have shown the opposite. People who eat a small handful of nuts most days tend to weigh less, have healthier hearts, and live longer. One of the keys here is moderation. Just a small handful, about a quarter of a cup, is enough to give your body what it needs. Walnuts are especially great for brain health, thanks to their omega-3 fats. Almonds can help lower cholesterol, and pistachios are loaded with antioxidants. Here's a tip, if you ever find yourself feeling a little low on energy mid-morning or mid-afternoon, try having a small bowl of mixed nuts and maybe a piece of fruit. It's satisfying, it keeps your blood sugar stable, and it gives your brain the fuel it needs to stay sharp. You can also sprinkle chopped nuts on your oatmeal, stir them into yogurt, or even use them as a crust for baked chicken or fish. There are so many easy ways to include them without getting bored. And if chewing is difficult, or you're worried about hard textures, nut butters are a wonderful option. A spoonful of almond or peanut butter on toast or apple slices makes for a delicious and nutritious snack. Now, earlier we mentioned olive oil, and I haven't forgotten. This one deserves its own moment in the spotlight, because it truly is one of the best choices you can make for your heart and your brain. Olive oil is a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet, which has been linked to longer life, better memory, and lower rates of heart disease. But what makes it so good for you? It's the healthy monounsaturated fats and powerful antioxidants that help reduce inflammation throughout the body. When your body is inflamed, think of it like a slow-burning fire. It can lead to all sorts of problems, joint pain, heart issues, even cognitive decline. But olive oil helps put out that fire. It protects your arteries, supports your brain, and gives your food a beautiful flavor at the same time. One of the easiest ways to use it is simply to swap it in for butter or margarine. Drizzle it over vegetables, use it in salad dressings, or cook your eggs in it. Just make sure you're using extra virgin olive oil, that's the kind with the most benefits. Some people even take a small spoonful each day as a supplement. While that's a bit more old school, it does the trick if you're not using it in your cooking. You don't need to overdo it. Just a tablespoon or two a day can make a real difference. And again, it's not just about the food, it's about the message you're sending your body. I care about you. I'm giving you what you need. And that, I think, is one of the most empowering parts of this whole conversation. These aren't trendy superfoods or expensive powders. These are real, whole foods that you can easily add to your day. Foods that fuel your body with care and intention. Foods that tell your body, I want to keep living well, keep feeling good, and keep enjoying every season of life. So far, we've covered some delicious, simple choices: berries, greens, beans, nuts, and olive oil. But there's still one more food I want to share with you. It's something comforting, satisfying, and full of nutrients your body craves, especially as the years go by. Let's take a closer look at that next. Let's take a closer look at that final food, something that's been part of traditional diets around the world for generations. It's nourishing, comforting, and, as it turns out, incredibly good for you. I'm talking about whole grains. Now, I know grains have gotten a bit of a bad rap in recent years. Maybe you've heard people say things like carbs are bad or you should avoid bread after a certain age. But the truth is, not all carbs are created equal. Whole grains, like oats, brown rice, quinoa, barley, and whole wheat, are a completely different story from the overly processed white breads and sugary cereals many people are used to. Whole grains are packed with fiber, vitamins, and minerals that help regulate blood sugar, lower cholesterol, and keep your digestion running smoothly. They're also slow-burning fuel. That means they help you feel full and energized throughout the day without causing those spikes and crashes in your blood sugar that leave you feeling drained. Oats, in particular, are a wonderful choice in the morning. Just half a cup of old-fashioned oats, cooked and topped with some berries and a few chopped nuts, gives you a balanced, heart-healthy breakfast that can help lower bad cholesterol and keep you full until lunch. If you're not a fan of oatmeal, try a slice of whole grain toast or a warm bowl of barley soup. It all counts. Quinoa is another fantastic option. It's technically a seed, but it cooks and tastes like a grain, and it's one of the few plant foods that's actually a complete protein. That means it has all 9 essential amino acids your body needs, which is especially helpful as muscle mass naturally declines with age. And you don't need to eat huge portions. A small serving of brown rice or a side of quinoa with dinner is enough to give your body the nutrients it needs without feeling too heavy or bloated. Here's a little trick if you're trying to eat more whole grains but miss the texture or taste of white rice or soft bread. Start by mixing. Use half white rice and half brown rice, or mix whole wheat pasta with regular pasta. Over time, your taste buds adjust, and before you know it, you'll start to enjoy the heartier texture and nutty flavor of whole grains. It's not about cutting things out, it's about adding better things in. That's the real key to long-term health and happiness after 70. Small, meaningful upgrades that feel good, taste good, and work with your lifestyle. And when you take a step back and look at the big picture, it's kind of beautiful, isn't it? These 6 foods, berries, leafy greens, beans, nuts, olive oil, and whole grains, they're not just ingredients. They're tools. Tools to help you feel stronger, think clearer, move better, and maybe even smile more often. And it's not just about living longer, it's about living well. Because what good is another 5 or 10 years if you don't feel like yourself during them? When you nourish your body with the right foods, you give yourself the best chance to stay active, independent, and full of life. Now, let's pause for a moment and just think about where you are today. Maybe you're already doing some of these things. Maybe you've got berries in the freezer or a bottle of olive oil sitting on the counter. Or maybe this is all new and you're thinking, where do I even start? Wherever you are, I want you to know this, it's not too late. Not even close. Your body is always listening. Every meal is an opportunity to give it a little more love, a little more support. And you don't have to change everything at once. Just start with one thing. Maybe it's adding a handful of greens to your lunch. Maybe it's swapping out white bread for whole grain toast. Maybe it's trying a new bean recipe this week. The point is, you don't need perfection. You just need progress. And don't underestimate the emotional power of these changes either. When you eat in a way that supports your body, you start to feel better not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. You gain confidence. You regain a sense of control. And that creates momentum. Before you know it, you're waking up with more energy, you're moving with a little more ease, and you're enjoying the small things again, like tending the garden, playing with grandkids, or just feeling good in your own skin. It's a beautiful thing, really. Food is more than just fuel. It's connection, tradition, comfort, and healing. And with a few thoughtful choices each day, you can absolutely shape the way your body ages. So as we wrap this up, I hope you're feeling a little more hopeful, maybe even a little inspired. Because you deserve to feel good. You deserve to enjoy your years with strength, clarity, and joy. And the best part? It's all within reach, right there in your kitchen. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one healthy food you already eat every day? Or maybe you've got a family recipe that includes some of these longevity foods. If so, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Let's share and support one another on this journey. And if this video helped you or encouraged you in some way, give it a like and hit that subscribe button. There's so much more we're going to talk about, simple ways to stay healthy, happy, and strong no matter your age. Because here's the truth, you're not slowing down, you're just getting started in a new chapter. And with a little support, a little community, and the right foods on your plate, this chapter can be one of the very best yet. Here's to living your best life, stronger, happier, and healthier, one bite at a time.